In this video, I want to talk to you about why the fear of failure is complete bullshit, okay? People throw it around a lot, this stress, this fear of failing, or what if I don't achieve what I set out to achieve? And it's complete bullshit. They're not actually scared of failure, okay? They're scared of something else. I want to talk to you about what that thing is so that you can have a process to go through and realize that it's not real. You're making it up in your head. And hopefully if you can step over that, then you can go out there and do whatever the fuck it is that you really, really want to do. Okay, it's Monday morning on my end. Thought we'd do a little bit of a different type of video this week. Hopefully this can help at least one person to stop making up this bullshit excuse in their head about fear of failure, illuminate what is actually going on, and then give them a plan of attack to overcome it. Okay, a little bit overcast on my end this morning. Winter here, a little bit chilly, but not too bad. We don't really get too much of a winter where I live. I'm just getting a bit of work done and wanted to come to you all with a video. Before we jump into it, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel, give the video a like if it sets off any light bulbs or helps you out at all. I'm just gonna jump into the office, and check out that first link in the description if you wanna see how we go about building information businesses and how we do it. Keeping things really simple, focusing on profitability and having a blast in the process, okay? So let's jump into this one, all right? Now, this clarity isn't something that I arrived at on my own. I read a lot of books. I'm here in my office and I've got books on my desk. I've got books in the cupboard thing down there. I've got books under the coffee table. I try read a lot because I find that, you know, you can sometimes pick up so much from like one line or one paragraph in a book, and it can give you so much clarity. And this is one of them, right? When you coach people and mentor people like I do, you start to see patterns in terms of what holds people back, okay? And this thing that people call fear of failure gets thrown around a lot, right? And it was something that I bought into for a while as well. I delayed going full-time in my business and leaving the corporate world to the point that I actually made myself like really, really sick because I was trying to juggle both. And I thought it was a fear of failure, right? And it wasn't until I read a book, it's called Tribes by Seth Godin. I've got it here. I was re-flicking through it recently, and I came back to this point that I'd read previously, and it just refreshed this light bulb for me around why it's not actually a fear of failing, right? You see, what most people aren't, they're not scared of the thing not working, right? That they want to accomplish, because if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, right? There's not usually too much downside, okay? Now, there's probably people that are gonna watch this and go, yeah, well, there might be situations where it's like life or death. Okay, sure, there's probably a case for it there. But 9 times out of 10, right, where someone's, trying to pluck up the courage to create a course or, go live for the first time or start that business or quit that job or, whatever it may be, right? It's actually fear of what other people will think, right? It's fear of criticism. It's fear of disappointing other people, right? And then as a result of that, it's the fear of how that will make them feel and how they will look at themselves. Okay, I've got a marketing mentor, Travis Sago, and he helps folks with crafting offers, and he's helped me a lot in terms of understanding how to craft successful offers. And when people are selling information, they tend to focus a lot on what are the pains and problems and what's the upside for the person, the benefits, the features, all that kind of shit. And that's important. But where Travis has really illuminated things for me is in these 2 buckets that are incredibly powerful, and it's called identity and reputation. Right? Identity being how we look at ourselves, and reputation being how we feel other people look at us, right? Or how other people actually do look at us. And so that's where this fear of failure really sits, right? It's not necessarily a fear of failing at the actual thing, because in a lot of cases, it's like, well, if it just doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, right? And you've lost nothing except a bit of time, right? Rather, we become so paranoid about what other people are going to think about us, right? What are they going to think if I make that post? What are they going to think if I make that video, right? Are they going to think I look stupid? We're all terrified of looking stupid, right? What are they going to say? What's going to pop up in the comments? And then as an extension of that, how that makes us feel, right? And that's that identity and reputation coming into play. These have a massive, massive impact on people, okay? And so what you need to do if you are freezing and holding yourself up from going out there and actually doing something that you want to do, that's the question you need to ask is the upside of this thing that I want to do, that I want to pursue, right? This dream that I've got, this change that I want to make, is the upside of that worth more to me than the fear of what other people might say, think, do if they don't like it, right? If it isn't the way they do it, if it doesn't align with their values or their expectations, right? What's worth more to you? Is it the potential that you could create whatever it is that you want to create, or would you rather avoid the bit of the hit to the chest or hit to the gut of those types of comments? And look, they're going to come, right? They're going to come. So what's worth more out of those two, right? And on this side of the equation, you've also got to factor in how that's going to make you feel and how that's going to in turn make you look at yourself, right? And in a lot of cases, right, sounds like a loaded question, but in a lot of cases, people value this side, right, how other people think of them and then, you know, protecting themselves from feeling bad around that stuff. They value that so highly. They value it so highly that it's not worth it because it would crush them. But I think a lot of people get caught up in this spinning wheel in their head of fear of failure, when in a lot of cases, the downside's actually very little, right? Very little. And like I said, we're not talking about life or death. We're not talking about putting your whole life savings into something. Let's be like realistic here, right? It's the people that are holding back from doing something that they really want to do because they're worried about what their friends or their family or their colleagues might think, right? And this happens every single day. And I see people and I talk to people who are day in and day out living with the regret of not doing something, right? They'll come back to me a year later and they're still doing the same shit that they were doing before and they're still miserable, right? So I think it's important to illuminate what the real fear is. And it's the fear about what are other people going to say? What criticism am I going to cop? And am I going to be able to handle that? So that's what you need to weigh up, right? That's what you need to weigh up. Is the potential to create this thing that you want to create more important, right? Is the upside, the what life could be on that side of the fence? Is that bigger, or is it just too much to possibly overcome what other people might think, what other people might say, and that's going to be the thing that stops you? It very well may be, right? It really depends how highly you value other people's opinions. But I think it's important to know what's really going on when people talk about fear of failure, right? When people talk about the things that are holding them back. It's not the thing, it's the flow and effect and how other people might talk about them, okay? And if you can overcome that hurdle and realize that in a lot of cases, people are busy with their own shit, right? People are going to talk. You could make the most perfect thing in the world. People are going to bitch and moan about it. I've helped people literally change their lives, right? Go from making nothing online to spitting out $50,000 months like it's nothing. Their expectations change and they still bitch and moan about stuff. People are always going to find shit to complain about, okay? There's always going to be people out there in the world who don't like you, don't like what you do, don't like how your voice sounds, don't like how you look, don't like your hair, don't like your beard, don't like your clothes. There is always going to be those people. You cannot fucking avoid it. So you need to think long and hard about if you're going to let that be the thing that stops you from doing what you ultimately want to do and taking that shot. I think one of the best lessons that, you know, some people like Gary Vee, some people don't, but one of the best lessons and messages that he puts out into the world is that he's hedging, or he's optimizing, not hedging, wrong word. He's optimizing for regret and not getting to the end of his life and being 80, 90 and sitting there with life regrets. I think that's brilliant. I think that's a fantastic message to put out into the world. All right. So just remember, those people are going to talk anyway. It's probably not a fear of the failure of the thing for most people, because the downside in a lot of cases isn't that low, right? Especially in this online business world, barrier to entry is super low. Get started today, film a video. I'm using my phone, right? Start creating content. What you're really worried about is what other people think and how that's going to make you feel. So that's the real equation that you need to do in your head. What's worth more to me? The potential upside of the thing that I want to do, or their opinions, right? And it doesn't matter if you take massive action or not, there's still always going to be people out there who don't like you. There's still always going to be people out there who want to talk shit about you. It's just the world that we live in, okay? So my 2 cents would be, fuck it, take the shot, okay? Appreciate you hanging out with me today. Check out those links in the description, and see you all in the next video. Have a great one. Cheers.